The inflation system, and it is a system, was imposed on mankind thousands and thousands of years ago. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of IOUs, stone tablet IOUs. In other words, we have actual records of fiat currency from the ancient past that were found and discovered in some of these digs and archaeological dig sites in Iraq and throughout what we now call ancient Mesopotamia, throughout that region. This system has been passed through secret societies for eons until it made it into the current era. And today, we're still utilizing that same ancient system that has generated all of the wealth for the super wealthy, they call old money, and kept a lot of people impoverished.
Right now on Higher Journeys with Alexis Brooks.
A lot of people don't realize that our very economy, some of the things that we would consider the more nuts and bolts of our system, have integral ties to the ancient past. Not just integral ties, but they are derived from the ancient past. And Billy is going to break it down for us a little bit and tell us how that happened and where we are now. So, Billy, I'm just going to have you take it away. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So one of the things that people don't realize is that the inflation system, and it is a system, was imposed on mankind thousands and thousands of years ago. This system of inflation isn't anything brand new since the creation of fiat currency or since the creation of the central banking system. It goes far beyond that. And how do we know this? I always bring the receipts. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of IOUs, stone tablet IOUs. In other words, we have actual records of fiat currency from the ancient past that were found and discovered in some of these digs and archaeological dig sites in Iraq and throughout what we now call ancient Mesopotamia, throughout that region. A lot coming from the library of Ashurbanipal. And so these records were actual accounts of people that were exchanging goods for fiat. So if I had an apple orchard and you had a farm that had lamb, and I come over to you with 2 satchels or 2 sacks of apples, and I try to exchange that for 1 full lamb, boom, it worked. I come back now again, there's a holiday coming up. I got to come back and get myself another lamb for my family. I come back with 2 bags of apples, but there's now supply and demand. Too many people are coming for lambs because the holiday is here. Everyone wants a lamb. When I get there, there's not enough lambs to go around. So my 2 bags of apples is now only worth a half of a lamb and an IOU stone tablet. I walk away with the half of my lamb with the IOU. I come back a few weeks later. I need the other half of my lamb. Oh, the demand, not reproducing fast enough. It's only worth 1 more quarter of a lamb. Here goes your inflation. We have the actual records of this happening, okay? And William Bramley, an author named William Bramley, did such a phenomenal job writing about this in a book entitled The Gods of Eden, okay, with great sources as well. Yeah.
I know.
And so all of a sudden we see that they've imposed this inflationary system while they themselves operated on a totally separate monetary system. So their system, their hierarchy and how they ruled was totally different than what they gave us for how kingship was handed down, for how we will rule or rule each other, and how our monetary system would actually function and work. So this system has been passed through secret societies for eons until it made it into the current era. And today, we're still utilizing that same ancient system that has generated all of the wealth for the super wealthy, they call old money, and kept a lot of people impoverished, allowing a few people to sprout up here and there. But for the most part, you have rich and you have poor, right? Now, another thing that they did was they created something called the bicameral Congress, the left wing and the right wing. This is ancient Sumerian. This goes back thousands of years. Even back, that one tablet that talks about this, you can go further back than that tablet because that tablet is a copy of an older tablet. We're talking about possibly even tens of thousands of years, this bicameral Congress, this polytrickster system that they install. I do mean polytrickster. It's not politics, it's polytricks. And they themselves, again, they ruled themselves on a numeric code and they gave us this polytrickster system in which we can present idols to the masses, and the masses then could feel this need to idolize specific people based on what they say they're going to do. And then they can put them in positions of power if they can bribe them or whatever else they can do with them. Now, this bicameral Congress you discover through these writings is similar to what we have going on right now. You have a left wing, right wing, same bird.
Same bird. That's right.
Same bird. And these people would collaborate with each other right at the top and laugh at the masses of people thinking that they really truly had a choice. No matter which side won, they all won at the top. And so that system, when you're reading that text, is dry reading. But when you're like, wait a minute, this is ancient. Mm-hmm. So the system that runs the United States right now at this very moment is the same system that the Anunnaki installed on mankind thousands of years ago. And that system is a bad system. It's a dirty system. It's a system that allows people to take bribes, take payments through lobbying, through influence, to create a society that gives people the illusion that change is coming, but never really happens. And the only people that really experience the change or the loopholes to allow them to see some change are the people at the very top. And so that's why I never worry about who's the president of the United States. I can care less who the president is. Every 4 years, I go down and I get in line and I write my name on the ballot and I vote for myself.
I knew I was going to say, I was going to beat you to it. I know you vote for yourself. I thought about doing that too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Listen, because at the end of the day, if I'm not going to support myself, then who is?
Who will?
I mean, no matter who is voted into office, they can care less about my existence. But I care about my existence and I care about my family. So I'm going to nominate my own self to be president of my family and my own life. And guess what? Something incredible about the Anunnaki. In these texts and tablets, these ancient aristocrats, they left breadcrumbs on how they manipulated the civilization. In the modern idiom, we have these modern day polytricksters doing the same thing. They leave breadcrumbs behind on how they manipulate the system and keep everyone else suffering. So, for example, Donald Trump, right? This guy doesn't have to pay taxes because he knows where the breadcrumbs are. He follows those breadcrumbs to an existing system that somebody over here doesn't know about those breadcrumbs. So they get hit over the head for 44% taxes. And this guy makes billions and doesn't have to pay any. And so that's just one small example. What I do, I specialize in finding these breadcrumbs and living the life that they're living, using their loopholes that they created for themselves that are actually open to anyone who can find them, while the masses of people suffer and struggle. And so that was imparted on us, though, in ancient times, and they're still living off that same exact system till this current day. That's why Washington, D.C. is laid out like an ancient civilization with obelisks and all this masonry in the buildings and everything else.
Absolutely. The breadcrumbs, that's an interesting subject in and of itself, because it's the old adage that says the truth is hidden in plain sight. The question is, why is the truth hidden in plain sight? Well, some people have followed this ideology that this has to do with karma, that, they have to tell you based on the law of free will that what they're doing. And that might be true, but Billy, I've always not struggled with it, but wondered what the true impetus was for leaving those breadcrumbs. Could it be that they are looking to see who, yourself as a case in point, will be able to find the breadcrumbs, knowing already that the masses won't, but for those that can, that have the gumption to look and find, congratulations, bravo. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing, or neither? You just wonder.
I think that they just, one of the things I see consistently throughout all these civilizations and all these empires that I've researched, and all these empires, by the way, they all rise and then they fall. No empire can persist forever, including the empire that's currently running the planet. It won't persist forever. It's impossible. It's a cycle, and we're in this cycle. We just happen to be living through a part of the cycle where this empire is ruling, and we happen to be underneath it. But what I see is that they always give us the ability to participate in their wrongdoings. And what I mean is, how do we participate? Well, when a person in a $10,000 suit in an office somewhere in a bunker says, send a missile to this place or send these troops out to this place on the other side of the planet, there are people and troops that actually are poor people that go put on a uniform and say, yes, sir. And they actually go and do it. There are people that out of the 8 billion people on this planet that continue to participate every single day, including myself, in the matrix system that they've set up for us through banking, through voting, through running companies and businesses, through buying their products, whatever it is. There's a system that they put together that through our collusion is our cooperation and our participation. Until we come together and say, you know what? They shut down the planet. Why can't we shut down the planet? They turned the whole planet off and turned it back on. And guess what? We're still here. If we collaborate, if we can get together and drop the divide and conquer tactics and believe in one another, we can coordinate our own shutdown. And we can then say, we're not going to turn the planet back on until you negotiate with us. You work for us, and we will tell you what kind of economy we want to run. We'll tell you what kind of systems we want to put in place. And until that point, we'll do nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. That is not going to happen, Billy, until the genes, I'm stuck on that, whether it's the worship gene, there's the divide and conquer gene. I mean, really, this is more than behavior modification. There is something in the DNA, I believe, and we got to be
reprogrammed.
Yes, we have to be reprogrammed. And maybe this undulation that you spoke of that is happening right now, that is shooting this incredible, I can't remember the words you used, but we'll just call it putting us on a frequency that's allowing us a purview now into the things that, not just a purview, but receiving the information and shifting the paradigm, that maybe that will do it. But up until that point, I haven't seen that yet, by and large.
We're in the very beginning stages. This is why people are beginning to ask more questions, seek more answers. I remember the first time I posted something about forbidden knowledge on social media in 2011, and it got 3 likes and some laughs and, so forth. So now look, fast forward, now I have over 7 million followers across all my platforms. So there's this steady, gradual growth of people really trying to break out of the status quo and get more information. But it's a very slow process, arduous, slow process. But we're getting there. And the fact that I started out talking about aliens and hiding with my friends in the bushes, and then, eventually trading VHS tapes, and then eventually trading cassette tapes with conspiracies on them, to DVDs, to then doing online forums. And then I made a website with a blog, and then I ended up on TV. And now I'm on hundreds of TV shows, thousands of podcasts, and now my own TV show talking about these topics. So there's this gradual, on mainstream channels. So there's this gradual growth and this that's happening here, and the expansion of the way that we perceive our reality. So it tells me that we're in the beginning of the Tetra Yuga, the very beginning of a Silver Age.
Before the Kali Yuga.
Yes,
before the
exactly. Correct. So it's the very beginning stages. So we're in the beginning. We're trying to learn how to walk. And even when we take a couple of steps, we will fall down and we'll cry, but we'll pull ourselves back up and take a few more steps. Eventually, we'll learn how to walk, which is, what's the definition of walking? A controlled fall. That's what walking is, a controlled fall. And so once we learn how to control our fall, we'll make huge strides and we'll see a golden age. And people like you and I, Alexis, we're just planting seeds for a future. Trees are going to grow, but we'll never sit in the shade. But our energy will experience that in some way, shape, or form, because, we're like the pioneers of helping usher mankind back to this golden age.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I've talked to you probably years ago at this point about my 2005 experience. That was a 3-month-long spiritual transformation epiphany. Do you recall? It's, I know you, but it's still evergreen in my mind. And I remember one of the first things that was told to me by the stream of consciousness that was a 24/7 dialogue was, you will be instrumental in helping the people through. This was in 2005. I had no idea, no context whatsoever, but to this day, there was a part of me that knew what it was talking about, even though I had no conscious awareness.
Yeah, it's a knowing.
And it's a knowing. It's just stunning. It's just stunning. Well, can never not I never get tired of talking about that because it was just so powerful. I
Yeah.
want to end on something that I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot for doing because it would warrant a big conversation. But I wanted to bring this up in the main show. It has to do with this whole idea of the Anunnaki as our ancient ancestors, literally, but within the context of a simulated reality.
Yeah.
Are you a proponent of the simulation theory?
My new book, Fractal Holographic Universe, The Matrix Code Revealed, is already a bestseller as a pre-order. Okay. It's already a bestseller. And this book has reviews in it from big time physicists, Sylvester James Gates Jr., Dr. Teresa Bullard. I mean, I can just keep going on and on. So I've got real scientists giving me reviews on the information in this book. The book is coming out probably in about 30 days. It'll be in print and out delivered. But the pre-orders are available on my website. But I'm a huge proponent of it. I believe that we are living in a fractal holographic universe. And this universe is created through a couple things. One is programming code runs the universe. And I strive to prove that information through real peer-reviewed science in the book, as well as the fact that we are living in the shadow of a higher dimension. We're not getting to quasi crystals and things like that, which are these 8th dimensional and 4th dimensional quasi crystals that are now been recreated in the laboratories in America. So I go deep into it, but yeah, I believe that we're living in a fractal holographic universe, that the entire universe itself is a hologram. It doesn't mean we're not real, but what it does mean, I'm giving you the nature of our reality, where biblical texts and all these other ancient cultures say we're living in a creation. Well, I believe they're accurate. Now, what is this creation? How does it run? How does it function? What is the method that's utilized to create this realm? I attempt to go deep into that information scientifically and then also philosophically in the book.
Wow. I guess that must have been a little tap on the shoulder by a bird saying, ask him about that. Because I had that dawned on me as I was prepping for our interview. I'm like, I've got to ask him about where all of this ancient history lies within the confines of a simulation or holographic model of reality. So would this, I know that I'm asking deep questions that warrant really, they're loaded questions that warrant a lot of explanation, but within the context of our living in a construct, really, that has been created by another, where would the Anunnaki fit in that? Are they of the construct too, or are they part of the construction?
I believe that they're also a part of the construct. Now, Anunnaki is a generalized term, meaning those who came from heaven to earth. So there's many different types of beings at various different levels of consciousness and technology throughout the entire universe. Some have probably ascended to some of the higher levels, like Thoth talks about having the ability to even transcend into higher dimensions at will. Some have learned to alter the fabric of space-time and so forth and so on. So there's different levels to this whole thing, and understanding how the universe functions and being able to manipulate it. But I do believe that they're also part of this matrix of reality, in this multiverse that we're inhabiting, with multiple probabilities and multiple outcomes. And I do think that we're all in here together.
Yeah, we're all in here together. I interviewed somebody, within a year or so ago, about they were on a DMT trip. They were on I think they were in Acapulco, and they were with somebody else, and they were doing a DMT. And at some point, he says that he saw the very fabric of reality in the form of a net. He was at the ocean. He said the ocean, literally, we watched the waves crashing, normal. He said it stopped. Everything froze, including the wave, right in mid, as it was about to crash. And I'm giving I'm not doing the story justice. He then was able to see, Billy, a very faint but distinct grid pattern that carried as far as the eyes could see. He was looking for the end somewhere and couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And he believes he saw the Matrix, literally.
Yeah.
Could
I
that?
believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. One of my first meditations I've ever done, I saw a grid pattern. One of Elizabeth's first meditations she's ever done, she saw a grid pattern. So this seems to be the theme. I believe that grid is real. It's a part of the actual matrix itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there any relationship between that and the magnetosphere that we talk about?
The magnetosphere, I don't know if it's directly connected to the matrix of reality, in that it's more of a result of the Earth's core spinning at a very high rate. It's a
Mm-hmm.
ferrofluid vortex that's being created at the core. And when you have spinning molten metal at a particular RPM, it creates this electromagnetic field. And that's what the
Okay.
magnetic field is whipping up and out of the Earth. But even that all in itself is still part of the entire matrix.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So, yeah, incredible stuff.
We are living at an exciting time. There is no question about it, and it's just fascinating. And for those of us that have the, I would say, courage to an extent, but the true thirst to explore through meditation, through shamanic journeys, the inner shamanic journey,
Mhm.
experiences like I had in 2005, experiences like you had with the visit that you had. You broke that story with me, by the way, the
I
2
did.
grays that
Yes.
came to visit you. I heard
Yeah.
you tell it again recently. But
Yeah.
all of these things, look what happened with you. My God, worldwide telescope. I can't stop thinking about that.
Yeah.
This is even though it was a frightening experience and it wreaked havoc on your life, look where it's brought you.
Yeah. I mean, everything happens for a reason, and sometimes you got to take what appears to be bad with the good. It put me on another path. It extremely drove me in an extreme direction, which gave me the passion to research the way that I have. I don't think the average person could have put themselves in a position to do that. I walked away from a multi-million-dollar company that I was a partner in to be
Mhm.
able to focus specifically on researching, for like 7 years straight without having to worry about going to any kind of job or anything. That's all I did. Plus the decades even prior to that. But when you drop the actual 9 to 5
Mhm.
and submit yourself and submerge yourself fully into the information, and dedicated myself to traveling the world with no sponsors, I just found a way. It put me on this path, and I'm grateful for it. I'm happy to where I am right now, happy who I am, who I've become, and I'm extremely optimistic for humanity and the path that we're going to go on, going into the future.
Love it. I love it. That's a perfect place to end, Billy. Thank you, my dear. Thank
All
you
right.
so
Thank you.
much. ForbiddenKnowledge.tv. Uh, let's talk about this. Roku. What are the platforms that people
Yeah,
can
we're
find you on?
on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Samsung TVs, iOS App Store, Google Play App Store, and of course the web at 4bk.tv or forbiddenknowledge.tv.
I love it. We'll have the links. You know how to find Billy at this point, you
Yes.
guys, but
Oh yeah.
make sure you not just for this particular film, although this would be great impetus to join in, but what a catalog you've amassed, including
Yeah.
some of yours truly. I'm on there
Yes.
too.
You're
Yeah.
on there too. That's right. We got about 3,000 episodes of content on Forbidden Knowledge TV. A lot of great exclusive content. So please sign up, get yourself a free trial, and download the app and experience what we have in there.
I love it. It's beautifully done, guys. So
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you, Billy. Don't hang up. Let's say a
All right.
proper goodbye. I'm gonna let you go
Yeah.
because I know you've got people coming to into your studio, but I'm gonna
Yes.
sign off with the journeyers for now.
All
Always
right.
love you. Always
Thank you. Love you
appreciate
too.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.